I think
Triple check.
we need to record from our side.
Yeah, I do not have a record button, so one of you will have to do that
All right.
if you wish for a recording. You want to get the recording going?
Mm, I think we are currently recording already because
Oh, we are?
yeah,
I didn't
it's
see a notice.
this Google Meet. Yeah, we're recording using a third party software because you need to pay to record on Google Meet.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're already recording.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. Just wanted to check. Otherwise, people miss out, right? Okay. So, assalamualaikum, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for making time on a Friday night. I can promise you one thing, and I hope to accomplish the second thing. Number one, I'm going to not take up too much of your time. Number two, I'm going to hopefully not lag while we switch screens over here, just to make sure that everything is all right while I'm switching screens and displaying all the metaverse stuff I want to show you guys. I will turn off my camera, but I will need some verbal feedback that you all can actually still follow. Okay. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm just talking to myself. Okay.
Mm,
But let's get started. Just to set the tone for everybody, by the way, the things I'm going to go through is I'm going to show you the edit mode in Mitoworld. I'll show you the tutorial first, and then I'll run through how you can add certain things and you can manipulate certain elements. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you those elements, how you could arrange them in such a way, whether it's on the free one and what's the difference between the free and the pro kind of maps and functions. Okay. Then by the end of this, I will also show you how to redeem, where to redeem the pro code, and then I will pass that code to the Vortex XR Club, and they can distribute it to you guys so that you can redeem a free pro account. Wow, sponsorship. That's
well,
amazing. Okay. Thank you to Ministry of Education for encouraging us to be a good business supporting universities. Alhamdulillah. So let us begin. I mean, how the heck do I share something in Google Meet? Let's see. I got this. I have an
there's
ID
a
free. Bear
there's
with
a
me.
button to present
I got
it.
it.
Okay.
I got it. We did it, team. Share the entire screen. We did it. Okay. I'm going to disappear. Then we're going to come to Metro World. Wow. Y'all can see our dear dashboard. I hope so. This is what you see after you log in, right? If you need to access the tutorial, where you're going to go is over here, right? You see this banner, learn how to create a world. If you just click on this, then it'll open up the tutorial world. Now, this whole thing is a gamified experience. So when you come in, what's going to happen is you're going to run into like this pop up. It's going to tell you, okay, you can begin. Hang on. Let me Okay, so there's going to be background music. I've just muted that for you guys. But basically, this is Orbit. Isn't he cute? Well, is Orbit a girl or a boy? I don't actually know. Well, Orbit, is going to guide you, is going to tell you what to do. And then once you begin, you will get a mission, right? It'll tell you how to move and everything. But it's basically using WASD. Yeah, you'll use that in the edit mode and you'll use that in the tutorial. So you walk around, this will teach you how to interact with stuff, and then it'll also teach you navigation. Like over here, it says left click and hold to teleport, right? So you do that, and then you progress. Okay, now I won't go through the whole tutorial. I'll let you discover it for yourself. But essentially, that tutorial should give you the basics of how to put a world together, right? Now, once you actually want to create a world, you can use this little button over here, or you can go to My Worlds. Now, I already have a couple. So when you go to My Worlds, chances are you'll see a Create World button, and then the rest will be blank, right? So when you create a world, all you have to do is you give it a name, right? So let's say test. Well, no, let's do XR Jam Test, for example. Then you can choose whether you want Mito Pro or Mito Lite. Now, just to let you know, if you want to play around, I recommend you use the free one first. Yeah. So then you just create, and then what it'll do is, you see, Now it pops up XR Jam test. So then when you go over here, you can change the name. You can give it a nice little description. This is the live demo. Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Place an emoji. Okay. So this will appear when you're loading the world, which we will see in a second. If you have a thumbnail in mind, you can upload one over here, else it will automatically load one. So the difference between the free and the pro is the types of maps you can use. So the pro worlds tend to be a bit more extravagant. They have like inbuilt designs with them. The free ones tend to be a bit more simple, right? And the spaces are slightly less. Now, just for the sake of this demo, let me show you Inter, okay? So when you click on a blueprint, what's going to happen is it'll tell you a little bit about it and it'll tell you roughly the size. Yeah. So you can either straight away apply the blueprint, kind of like how Canva allows you to apply a template, or you can experience it. Experience it basically loads it up. Okay. So it will, oh, sorry. It will load it up in a separate window for you to try it. But when you apply the blueprint, oh, you see the thumbnail? The thumbnail change to this. So if you don't have a custom one, it just loads it here. But what you want to do is you want to be able to edit. You see, edit opens up the actual world for you to go in. Okay, and then I'm gonna show you like how to edit the different things. So hang on, let me show you one that I've already put together. Yeah. So let's go to the science world. Okay. So this one, so this is a world I made for a bunch of teachers, and I'm going to show you the edit mode and the preview mode so that you get a sense of what it's like. Everybody still with me so far?
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, so when you load it up, okay, so you'll see the description that you put in. It'll appear here. Whatever name you give it will also appear here. So when you enter the world, it looks like this. Yeah. So this is a preview. All right. You can, if you have music, you can turn it up, turn it down. You'll get your settings at the side here. Now, what I want you to highlight, what I want to highlight is, okay, this is preview. This is how people will see the world when they come in. But in the edit, what you'll notice is different maps have some things like this. So these are placeholders, right? So if you don't use the placeholders, when somebody comes in, they disappear. You see? And you can place things wherever you want. You can ignore the placeholders, and that's totally fine. Okay, let me just hide this. So the main way you interact is you walk around. You can use your mouse button, you press and hold, then you can turn around. Yeah. But when you come in, the map is going to be blank. Now you can change the color very, very quickly, like preview, change it all to black, change blue, preview, save and apply, right? Then that just changes everything around you very, very quickly. This applies to all the environment within the space. Pretty simple, right? But what you want to do after you applied, you should, well, rather, you should have an idea of what the feeling of the space you want to be, right? So this one, I thought it would be nice to have it a bit more green because I'm talking about nature and living things for schools. So I thought green and some of the 3D elements that are green would be better to match. Now, as you walk around and you upload stuff, you'll notice that there are these hit boxes, you see, like collision boxes for all the different items. So these are all uploaded manually through this add object. When you try to add an object, you can add images, videos, 3D models, right? And when you upload, it allows you to just browse directly from your computer. So let's say you go to documents. Oh, wait. Yeah. So you can have like, see, I already downloaded a bunch of demo world resources, right? I have 3D models, I have images, I have background music in an MP3. So I just can bring them in. The only thing you need to be concerned about is whatever 3D object you want to bring in, note here that it must be in a GLB format. Okay. That's the key thing you want to note. And once you bring them in, those items are loaded here. And wherever you are, once you want to bring it in, you just press it. You see, there it is. So now I can move it. You see, I can walk around. As long as I'm grabbing it, I can move it. I can move it up using this, move it to the side using this, front and back. See? This allows you to manipulate the object. You can walk around it, okay, or you can ground it. Yes? You put it there. See, it goes through. Now, this works for images, videos, and 3D models. Okay, so you see this image over here is the same. When I bring it in, I don't necessarily have to put it up against the wall. I can put it right here. See, like I can move this and unlock it, and then I can bring it right here. Okay. When I'm done, I can lock it. You see, it's not on the wall anymore. So I can freely move whatever I want. And the key thing is if I don't want to accidentally move it once I'm done, there's a lock or unlock button to make sure when I click it, I don't accidentally drag it somewhere. Okay, now when you come to 3D objects, if you don't want to manipulate it like this or kind of drag it around, that's okay. There's a button here called reposition. So this allows you to manipulate it using axes. See? You can rotate any way you like and even scale it up. You can put it a number too if you want. 8 all of a sudden gets really big, right? And you can reset. Okay. But when you reset, it just brings it up back to where it was originally based on where you're looking at. Now, the important part over here that you want to take note of is when you bring in 3D objects, especially, right? Or images, you want to decide whether you want the collision on or off. So what does that mean? Like, see, this thing right now, it doesn't have any collision, so I can just walk through it. See? But if I go in and I say I want to turn collision on, okay, like let's just do this part first. I turn collision on. Now I can't walk through it. See that? Right. Oops, hang on. So for larger objects, that is when the second part of the collision is important. So you can either do default, which follows this blue box, the outline, right? The total space it takes. Or you can wrap to shape. If you wrap to shape, it's going to be closer to the actual shape of the object. Now, this one is kind of small, so it's a bit difficult to appreciate. So let me use another example, okay? So for example, like this one, right? You see the box is quite big for this. Now, if I unlock this and I go to positioning, right, you'll see that right now, okay, you'll see that the collision is on for this. But right now, the collision shape is the default. So that means, just lock this, see? See? Like I can't walk closer from this side because I'm being blocked by an invisible wall, right? So if I unlock it and I go to positioning, then I come down here and I wrap to shape. When I wrap to the shape, and then now I lock it, you'll notice now I can go a bit closer. You see? So this will matter for the objects that are larger. Okay, if you bring an object in and you scale it up, that's how it's going to matter. So far, so good. Are we making sense?
Mm. Mhm.
Okay, cool. Now, the way that you want to think about your world is you're going to bring in items and you want to have links. This is probably going to be how you set up the world. So, for example, in this world, when we land in front, right? So, when somebody lands over here, what I want them to see is there's a bunch of living things here. The topic is living things. I see. They get over here, and then there are some interactable objects. So these are just 3 interactable objects that I put together, and then I added a link and some text. So let me show you how you could get a similar effect, right? So under Edit World, I would want to bring in an object. So this is a stylized tree. So I bring in a stylized tree, I move it down. I can increase the scale a little bit, for example. That's great, right? Now I lock this so that I don't accidentally move it. So beyond that, you see I have a boulder and I have this sword over here. So I can add an object. Let's see, where do we have a boulder? Boulder. We have a sword. Boulder, boulder, boulder. Huh, this is bed. Where's my boulder? Let me find boulder. Ah, boulder. Let's just have a sword. Okay, so We have the sword. Now, remember, we can go into positioning and I can rotate it. So I want it to be upside down so that we can stab the tree. Let me move it over here so that we can see. Then let's stab the tree. Ugh. Okay. Well, let's make it smaller so that it looks like. There we go. And oops, we're going this way. There, we did it. You see? It's now not a sword in a stone, but a sword in a tree. Fantastic. We did it. Okay. So now if I preview, you see, there's this item. We didn't turn on collision for anything, so we can walk through it. So when we go back to the edit world, I'll go to the tree, we unlock it for the positioning, we turn on collision. Save this, unlock it. Now, see, now we can't walk through. Fantastic. So how do you add something like this? You don't have to add the text. I just did this for effect. But what you can do is you can add links. So when you add a link, when you create, you can say whether it's a portal to the web, or you can do a portal to another metaverse, or you can do an embedded pop-up. So the one that you see over here, this white dot, that is an external link. When you go to a link and you want to create, it'll ask you what you want. So you put a display, okay? And you want the actual link. So let's say that this brings us actually to mitoworld.io, right? Oops. So let's say we put this here. So we want to go to mitoworld.io. The display link, we can say it's Mitoworld. Okay, so we can preview the thumbnail. Now you can choose what you want. So it can source a thumbnail from the website itself. So if you put YouTube, it'll be the YouTube logo. Alternatively, it'll put the name and what a general image. Okay, but you can add a custom visual if you want. If you're going to be making a lot of custom experiences, then I recommend you add your own visual, like maybe something for your team or the title of whatever you're building. But you can also have this animated white or blue icon. Let's create an animated white. Okay, so now we have a portal to the web, then we can apply. So now we have this little dot. We can bring this little dot over here. You see, when we bring this little dot over here, once we lock it, now it's in place, you see, in 3D. Again, you can move this up or down using the reposition. And when we preview, now somebody, when they walk up, they'll be like, oh, what's this? Click it. You see, it asks you to confirm a redirect. And if you confirm it, it'll load up in a separate page. Okay? You see how that works? Easy, right? So text is just the same. When you're editing, you can just pull up text, you can create, then right here is the text. You can move it around as you like. Come over here so it's easy. Use a hex code. Let's make it white to make it easy to see. Change of font, increase letter spacing, paragraph spacing, up to you. Right? Wow, demo. Okay, then you can save. Once you save, you can bring this wherever you want. Okay. Same like the 3D object. You can just walk through it. So you can be really creative with this because let's say you have something hidden. You can say, oh, I want to rotate it so that it's this way. Right? Like let's do negative 90 degrees. Okay, so that it's flat. So you could do something like this and then put it all the way up. So you have like a little Easter egg. Somebody is kind of walking around and they're like, oh, what's that? And they have to look up to see the text. So you could use this to signpost both on the wall and on the floor, on the walls and just in the environment around. Okay, so far so good.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So the links that we saw earlier, either they appear as redirects or you can embed directly. So embeds will look something like this. There's a preview if it's a video, right? So the difference with an image is obviously that's static, but if you put a video, it'll automatically play. This is if you upload a video directly. So you see, here we have a video, right? So videos that you upload, these have a preview. But if you embed a YouTube link, that will require you to actually manually play it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a world that is put together with a bunch of the different elements. Because so far, what we've seen is you can add a lot of the objects, right? So I'm going to show you now how 3D objects, a bunch of different links, different environments like the skybox, background music, all of these can work together. Okay, so let me close this, come back here. Yeah, so let's load this up. So this is something that I made to teach people about space. All right. So this world shows you a little bit about black holes. It has a couple of videos from YouTube, but the way I've set it up is you can come in and explore. Okay. So these are videos that you have on YouTube, but there's a preview when you get close. And if you want to listen to it, you press it. You see? You can just come out of it. All of these are free assets that I brought in from Sketchfab. So you can lay it out as you like. Now, this space actually has a lot of placeholders, you see, that I didn't use. I had my own idea for how I wanted it to be. Okay. And this is an example of an image. So previously in the science world, there were images that we couldn't click on, right? Because I just put them on the wall and I made them really big. Now this one's really big too, but you'll notice when I bring this here, I actually added some stuff. So you see this? I have the image, but I also added over here a little bit of detail, and I even added a little link. Now the way you do that is on this object, okay, if we unlock it and you edit the description, you see you can add artwork details. So that everything you saw earlier, the title, the artist, all of the descriptions, and even a link to where it goes, you can edit it all here. But let's say you don't want somebody to interact with it, like the science images, then what you're going to do is you want to disable the artwork interaction. So this is useful for when you want to just have science, right? Or you want to use visuals to kind of spruce up the place, decorate, rather than have it be clickable. Right? Making sense so far?
Yep, makes sense.
Okay. So, oh, you see? So this is an example. If we use links, we can put them into these little bubbles, or we can make them like this with a title. So the Science of Interstellar, this one, preview. We click this, it'll confirm a redirect, and this can bring you to a separate page or whatever else you need. Okay? Now, how is this going to be useful, let's say, for your project? Well, depending on what you have, you can create different kinds of experiences. So now I'm going to show you a bunch of different experiences. Let's say you have a lot of websites you want to show. One of the ways you could do it is you could have a world with multiple links. Okay. So let me show you. So I gathered multiple links, and then I put them all across the walls here. See, I put text, I put it against the wall to make sure that there were labels, but I also made sure that you had portals. I got little earths, okay, and I put them through. I put them through the walls. I made sure they were all the same dimensions. And each of these leads to another metaverse that's already been created. See? So this, I call this the interchange. And even this on the floor, it's just an image. All right. So if we unlock and then we try to position, actually we can move this up. You see? It's actually just a big photo. That's the original floor. I just moved this up and down. You see? It's just an image I got from the internet, resized it, then I made it the floor because I thought it would look cool. Right? Wow, what an effect. Okay, so this is an example of something very simple that you're just using the 3D assets, the text, and the links. Very, very easy. Now, let me show you a quiz. If you have games or if you have other items, like let's say you have a form because you need to collect a survey, you can do embeds. All you need to have is a direct link to it. So earlier you saw that whenever we have a link, it asks you to go to an external window. That is not always the case. That is when you create a portal to the web. Okay. If you don't create a portal to the web, what you get is something that appears inside. So to reiterate, see, this is a portal to the web. See, whatever link you put, it tells you that you're going to go elsewhere. But if you don't, then what you'll see is something like this. So you see, this goes to another metaverse, but it doesn't open in another window because you embedded it. It just appears here. You see, it blurs out, sorry, darkens the background, and then you can just load it without losing what you had before. Yeah. So this can work with a metaverse. This can work with a quiz, for example. When we go over here, like the way this person has set it up is they also have quizzes. So if you had a Google form, you'd be able to just load it up straight away, right? And it appears here without the person ever leaving the metaverse. You see? So any interactivity that you build elsewhere can be experienced in the same metaverse space. All right. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let me show you one more thing. So this one is probably one of the more complete projects that we have that really brings all of the functions together. So this was a career fair that we did a while back. And basically, the way that this works, oh, yes, let's select an avatar. I hope it's not lagging on your end. This world can be a bit heavy. But okay, so let me explain. So you see, this is an image, right? This whole agenda, but it's made in such a way that we can't click on it, right? Because we disable the artwork, you see? But we can see this clear. Then you can zoom into, you just use the mouse scroller and you can zoom in, all good, right? Now, the kind of things that they embedded over here is quite substantial. So here, instead of a YouTube video, they embedded a video straight away so that you can play it. You've seen this before. These used to be chatbots, right? They've disabled it now, but you can see that it just appears in a website right away. You can just load it, right? You can have quiz, right, to discover your work persona. Like this is type form. Just now you saw quizzes. So this one appears like this because the shape of the link that we're going to is like this. You can also embed mini games. So you just, as long as a web browser based game, it can load too. No problem. Okay. So if you're wondering like what do you need to embed a game, all you need is a link. So if you have a link that works in a browser like youtube.com/whatever it is, if you have a browser-based game that you can just open a new tab and load it here, all you do is you copy the link and you embed it. All right. Then it will also work in case you need people to submit stuff. Like if you need somebody to submit a response to your form, if you need them to submit a photo or files, you can embed a link to a form that receives that. If for whatever reason you have a live stream, right, or you need to embed videos, they embedded a live stream because they had a premiere. But then because it was YouTube, after the live stream is done, it automatically converts to a video that you can play back. Okay. Now I wanna make something a bit more clear about why you would choose to embed a video like this versus the one we saw down at the lobby. So if you do a video embed like this, it will require them to have in separate internet to load this because you see this is not fully buffered, right? But the video at the bottom, let's teleport down there. Okay. So the video at the bottom earlier, right? That was fully loaded. It loaded as we loaded the world, as opposed to the YouTube one. See this? Okay. This is already here. You see the difference? So if you put a lot of things like videos and images into the world, it'll take more time to just load everything. But if you put a lot of video links that are YouTube based, then it's faster to load the world itself. But once they actually come in and explore, they still need time to load up all the external resources. So far, so good.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Let me show you one more. That's mostly about 3D models. So those are for the embeds. For 3D models, you want to make sure that whenever you import something, it's always in the GLB format. And as long as it's in the GLB format, if there are animations, they will come in with the animations already included. Like that, for example. If you go to Sketchfab, okay, go to Sketchfab, like here, you can get a lot of 3D models for free, right? You search 3D models, and all you need to do is make sure that you have downloadable and you want stuff that's free. Like you see over here, this is downloadable, and then this one is available on store. So anything that you can just download right away, that's what you want to be getting. And when you try to download this, you can get a preview. And when you want to download the 3D model, it'll give you a couple of options, right? And you want to choose the one that's GLB because that's the format that we support. If you bring it in and it has an animation, it'll automatically be animated. If not, it'll just be static. You see, like Baby Yoda is static. These ones have animations, so they have it. Cool. Any image you bring in that has transparency, it'll be like this. Right? Somebody made this on Canva, so no matter where you go, it's always displaying on the right side, so it's readable. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you'll notice this is the same blueprint as the accounting one from before with the quizzes, but it can look drastically different just from colors and layouts. Yeah. Sorry, how you lay out the 3D objects. You have any questions so far? All good?
All good for me.
Okay. So I think I'll leave you guys to explore that one. So now what I'll do is let me go back to the dashboard and actually let me log out. So for those of you that have not signed up, so when you arrive at the main page, all you need to do is you go to register. You'll be able to do this for free. You can use whichever one you want. You can sign up using a manual input, agree to the terms of service, then sign up. Since I already have an account, I will just log in. After this, what I will do is I will share a code to your club so that you can do this part. Once you're in, you want to click on your account. Now you see education enrollment. This is where you're going to redeem the code. So you go to education enrollment, and I mean, you're not lecturer, so you just choose student, you put your code here. Okay. And then you agree to terms of service and you create. So once you press create, you're going to need to log out and then log back in. Now, once you log out and log back in, when you come to the dashboard and you go to My Worlds, you will notice that instead of just having worlds that are light, you will now have one that is pro. So that one you can go in and then you'll be able to see right away that the blueprints, you can choose the pro ones. And when you go in that blueprint to edit, you'll be able to access things like the embed. Easy enough to follow? All
Mm-hmm.
good? Okay,
All good.
fantastic. So if you want to change how your character looks, you can also play around with the avatar that appears in whichever world you want to go. If you need some inspiration, you can always go and explore the worlds. Okay, that will bring you to the other highlighted worlds, and then you can just keep jumping into them. Then you can search by keywords and go crazy. Okay, are we are we
Yeah.
are we doing?
Sounds good. Sounds
Back?
good.
I'm,
Mm-hmm.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
back.
back.
Okay, so Questions, concerns, objections, or anybody felt I did such a bad job that you need to make a personal threat? All good. If we are all good, then what I will do after this is I will share the code to the club. Feel free to use it. I have received news from our team that we are feeling especially generous. So usually, when you redeem a code, the pro world is only valid for 1 year. But we thought, well, we like you guys, we like tailors, so you can keep that one pro world for life. So, but we have a limited number of redemptions, so get it from your club while they have it. We should have one enough for everybody participating, but yes, you get to keep it for life. Just one though, because like one pro account costs like $5,000 a year. So please make use of it. Okay.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
All right.
That, yes. Anything before I let you all go and enjoy your evening. Round table. All good.
So no, all good.
Okay. Can we? Oh, can you extract a photo from the recording and send it to me so that I can prove to my teammates that I wasn't lying, that we had this. They don't believe me. I'm all alone. We're here.
Definitely, definitely. Uh, you can like make a peace sign and we can extract it out like that.
Fantastic. We did it. We did it, team.
Yeah, that's the evidence. All right, sounds good.
Evident. Hell yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I hope you guys all um even if you don't use it, I think you can explore. Um if you need a way to make a game and you don't know how to code, let me just put this into the chat. Is there chat?
Yeah, there is.
Chat.
The bottom right.
Open chat. What the heck? Anyway, you can. Oh, wait, there's chat. You can search up something called G develop. Okay. If you search up something called G develop, you can download an application onto your laptop, and that will allow you to make a game without code. It has tutorials and everything. You can make a health bar, you can make a level and everything. It's great. It takes you maybe 2, 3 hours to go through all of the tutorials. It'll teach you how to publish the game online. And once you have that online link, you can just bring it into Mitoworld, right? And put it there. So that, I mean, obviously you want to make sure that whatever you bring in makes sense, because the examples that I was showing you earlier, each of them has an experience in mind, right? When you go in, okay, you're learning about space. What do you see when you arrive? Or for the career fair, okay, when you land, there's an agenda, there's a live stream, there's a place where you go and look at all the virtual booths. So since you guys are doing something about like mental health, consider that when you choose the color of the world, when you choose the assets for the world. The music, when somebody comes in, when they look at the sky, is it like really peaceful because it's bright or because it's a certain kind of dark? Do you have things that are moving like really slowly? Maybe you find an animated Chinese guy that's slowly doing Tai Chi and you want to put him into the world somewhere. You could do that, right? Maybe you want to have videos that are just meditation, like a 1 hour meditation from YouTube that is just somebody with a better voice than myself telling you what to do with your life or hypnotizing you, you know? So plan out the experience and then whatever games, whatever quizzes, have an idea in your mind how to lay it out. And you shall be fine, inshallah. And if you need any help, just let us know. I am a phone number away. I will respond to you when I'm not asleep or busy. Okay. Yes. Last call.
Hmm. Questions?
Going once? Going twice? So the Taylor's University for a bunch of Metro Pro accounts. Exactly. Good evening, everybody. I wish you all a happy weekend. Happy Deepavali for everybody that I didn't see yesterday. And yes, Zikri, any
Yeah.
closing thoughts?
Well, thank you all for joining this session. Yeah. And thank you so much for Mr. Johan for conducting this Mitoworld tutorial. And I hope all of the knowledge that you guys have learned in this session will be helpful towards your projects and maybe perhaps assist you in winning the winning prize for the hackathon. So yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Wow. I'll see you guys at the hackathon. It's next weekend, right? Not this one.
Hmm. In yeah, next weekend, next week.
Fantastic. Amazing. Good evening, everybody. Have a good weekend.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Johan. Have a good weekend to you too as well. All right, we can wrap up this session now.